We'll get started on Leo's April reading. Leo, I see this reading being for anybody with Leo energy. A Leo sun, a Leo moon, a Leo rising. Also, if you have Leo in your first house, sometimes your rising is different than your first house. And if Leo is your signature sign. I also see that applying as well. All right. Leo, if you appreciate this video, give me a thumbs up. And Leo, if you would like to go and support the channel, a tip, Leo, the gesture is nice. If you want to go and tip and show a gesture of your appreciation, Leo, you can do that through Cash App or buy me a coffee. Shoot me $5, Leo. As I said, it's a gesture. Let's get into your reading. April for Leo. Six of Swords, Leo, with Knight of Swords, Leo, in this energy. There could be someone very specifically in your energy. You could have a man in your energy, Leo. That man could be an Aquarius. That man could have prominent air. That man has plans on you, Leo. Leo, I'm sort of seeing the energy that I have here. If that man does have plans on you, Leo, that man has not been straightforward with you. It seems like from the very beginning, choosing what to share and what to hold back, Leo. Telling you only what you need to know because they want to go and keep the upper hand. This person has not been transparent with you. I think, Leo, you know this, you knew this, you could tell this. And since they were not forthcoming, Leo, I do think you caught on rather quickly, but I think this person is hard to get rid of, Leo. Leo, if this resonates with someone who you know, because this person I feel like has been only telling you partial truth. I do think, Leo, you found out about it, and you ended it, and then that person is coming back. That's sort of like the mini message I'm getting right here, Leo. Signs, if I was to say signs, well, I already said Aquarius. I also have some Taurus, Libra, Scorpio, Aries placements. But I would say more than anything, this person has prominent air. Maybe prominent air, and then for some other placements, notable earth, even though we had fire in here too with that Aries. But I feel like it was air, and then when I say notable earth, I mean notable earth maybe in one of the big three, like could be their rising, could be their moon, but it also could be like in their personal planets, like their Mercury, their Venus. I feel prominent in that way. Anyway, let's go and dive into Six of Swords. Six of Swords, I have Two of Cups. I sworn I saw Lovers when I cut the deck. I'm not sure. But anyway, wasn't paying attention. Knight of Pentacles and, if I can get that one out, Justice. Someone's going to be seeking you out, Leo. You, Leo, may be trying to find your own way, but somebody's going to be feeling out the temperature of you towards them. What kind of reception will you give them? Leo, this person is coming forward to you to make that overture or to make overtures towards you into a Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and Justice energy. Because they are probably aware, Leo, that you haven't exactly crossed over to what they would consider a different path with a closed door after you. They probably see you, Leo, still as in transition. You are moving, you're slowly and steadily moving in a direction different than where you've been, right? Moving away, progressing, etc. But you're not, they feel like there's still perhaps an avenue for them to reconcile. Leo, I'll get a little bit more into this energy. Two of Cups. I have Knight of Cups, a love offer coming in. Eight of, this person has self-confidence, don't they, Leo? That's what my cat says. Knight of, hi, Charlie. How are you? Oh, yes, I'm doing well. How are you? Happy Saturday. Hello, Daily. Daily Memes, how are you too? Yes, my little one is doing well. He actually ate some, I had a snack of some canned beans, and they've developed a taste for bean juice, which is funny. Oh, that's good. Charlie, how are you enjoying all the star energy that's been going on this past month? In March, between Mars going into Cancer and the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse that's coming up, and Neptune entering into Mars, or Aries rather. Yeah, with that Mercury and its retrogrades. And plus the fact as well that this is supposed to be finally wrapping up all the crap that started in, 16 years overall, but also the last crap that started ever since 2023. Quiet, little one. The beans were tasty. It was a little snack. I had that with chips and hot sauce, but my cats, they like not tuna water or anything like that. They like bean juice. It's funny. Ah. So you found out it was right? Tell me more, Charlie. I mean, I sort of forget what those readings were, but well, that's good. I think that's good that it was a trigger to go and open you up to a higher level to make you more sensitive and aware. A step on your evolution, your own personal evolution. And his foot. He was a Scorpio, right? Yeah, Scorpio. I know that Pisces, they say Pisces are ruled by the Pisces are ruled by the feet. Cancer is ruled by the stomach and heart. I don't know what parts Scorpios are ruled by. Oh, the genitals. That's right. The sex organs. It's funny. I think that a lot of water signs, if they have some other water somewhere, they can tap into the other ones very easily. Or maybe we could just say that water can go and almost be influenced by the other signs that are around. So there could be like hot water, there could be cold water, there could be like earthy water or gritty water, right? He's a divine counterpart. So Charlie, have you decided if you're going to go and meet him? That's good. That's very good. It's also good that you are setting a new stage for just this shift that we're in. Oh, let me know how it goes, Charlie. I do think it's been a while since I've pulled on him, but from what I recall, communication, as long as there's a communication that's there and the expectations are in the open, and it's all that you need to do is just state what you expect and what he will let him know. You're right. Yeah, do keep me posted, Charlie. And I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm glad that you got rid of negative energy. I'm glad that you're protecting your energy, protecting your physical space, your heart space, your mental space, and that you have people who are also supporting you as well. Makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Could I ask what sign was your ex? I'm just curious. What sun sign? I mean, especially since for ex to have such strong feelings about him when he didn't know him. I mean, he definitely probably caught the energy and the feelings about it, the vibration. Oh, yeah, they definitely were probably interacting on a vibrational level, on an energetic level. They both could feel each other out, feel out the intentions and the quality of the intentions. You were talking about it, but also too, both being water signs, I have no doubt once they started putting their antenna on each other, and they formed some threads of connection. Yeah, you can ask. If you'd like, Charlie, definitely you can ask. make a donation, Charlie, and I'll take a look. Let me go and get, okay. Beautiful. Thank you, Charlie. Take a look and we'll find out. And I think I'm just going to go and drape that over there. Take your time, Charlie. I'm going to use the kitty cat cards. And I'll be back in just a second myself. Okay. So one moment, Charlie. I'll be back in just a second. Okay. Okay. Okay, Charlie. Let's go and see. Thank you much, first of all, for the donation, Charlie. I really do appreciate it. I also, Charlie, am very honored and thankful that you have come to me with the questions that you have and that we've established the connection. No, thank you, Charlie. I really do appreciate our connection and your support. Thank you. All right. As a fellow water sign, too, I appreciate it a lot. All right. So let's go and see why your ex did not like the Scorpio. Why did the ex not like the Scorpio? I pulled two cards for the first one. I have Death, fact, I thought I just cut the deck. Did I have Pisces under? Well, let me just see. No, Page of Cups. Lots of water coming there. And Two of Wands. Bottom of a deck energy here. Yes. So, King of Pentacles. And I have Death and Two of Cups, Two of Wands, first of all, for why your ex did not like the Scorpio. Well, of course, Death is Scorpio energy. But more than that, it was because he could anticipate that the ex was basically going to bring change no matter what, change to the household. King of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. Either in this energy, 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, Charlie, he realized that either, now there's a couple things that could be going on here in this energy, 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. Either 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, realizing the worth and that you're not being treated with a sort of worth that you are entitled to, that you deserve to go and have. And that 10 of Pentacles. This is either being or realizing that in some ways you have been undervalued or underappreciated and that you deserve better. Also, too, you know, that 5 as well of Cups being Scorpio energy, just having your attention diverted. 10 of Pentacles, expanding your world, also to being able to see the value of what another direction prevails. But either way, King of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups energy. He could he could sense that a change was coming to his household. But let's go and take a closer look at Death and Two of Wands. So Death. Death is a 4 of Swords. 7 of Wands. 6 of Swords. You know, Death being clarified by a 4 of Swords, 7 of Wands. Well, 4 of Swords, 7 of Wands, 6 of Swords under Death. It's like a gradual building, a gradual swelling. You know, in this energy, it was like there were a whole bunch of little signs that were piling up, but because of things being comfortable, or maybe those friction points being so small, that it didn't really amount to anything big. Something like, you know, like a little annoying splinter that really didn't matter either way. And I think in this energy with your ex under Death, it was like all the little splinters, all the little things that could be seen as minor inconveniences, as they were piling up more and more. Basically, all that they needed was just a catalyst to add one more drop and to go and bring all the little tiny overlooked incidences basically into realizing it just wasn't this or it just wasn't that, but it was the whole river. It was all the water droplets that had collected into a river. And that river, when you notice the scope and scale of it, was undeniable. It's like, first of all, your ex didn't like the fact that something about the Scorpio's energy brought back all the little friction points that could be smoothed over because they were small things. And he highlighted them. He highlighted the uncomfortableness, it feels like. The little small things that you can say, oh, I'll deal with that later. The very presence of the Scorpio was like, it doesn't matter whether they're big things or little things. It's how each action makes you feel. It's about how you feel each day. And, what kind of quality are you getting from your days, from your life? It just feels like this is routine. Essentially, the relationship that you had or that he had with you was routine. Wasn't exactly, it wasn't smooth routine, but there was like you were getting along, getting together, but there was still, but it could have been better. And he could have acted in ways that would have made it better. But he was fine just sort of putting out, it feels like too with your ex, he did not put out 100% effort under this sort of lukewarm energy. Like he was dedicated to putting out, maybe he put out 60%, right? But like maybe from what he would give towards you, he would give out 60% when he could give out 100%. He had like his own leveling off stick to where he would go. And I feel like essentially there was just a routine that was here. And when you have a day-to-day schedule of monotony or a day-to-day schedule of this is how I'll act, this is how far I'll go. Yes. Well, again, 4 of Swords, 7 of Wands, and 6 of Swords. This just tells me that, he only went so far. And he could have gone a lot more, but it was like he had his own limits. Like maybe it was his own masculinity or his idea of manliness. Like, oh, I won't stoop to this level. I won't be desperate. I won't be this. I won't be that. I mean, he could have given 100% of his energy, but he didn't. And it was effort for him to maintain as well his low effort, not giving as much as he should, as he could. It was also very deliberate on his part. I don't know exactly what energy that why. But, he felt like that was, it's not a matter of him being able to, it was just his own sort of ego-ness. Like, I will chase, I won't chase, I will smile, I won't smile, I'll open up the door for you, I won't open up the door for you. It was something very deliberate like that. I'll put on red socks instead of I'll put on white socks. It was a very deliberate choice, a very thought out choice. But I feel like he felt that with that Scorpio was going to highlight the fact that essentially he held back. Yeah, he held back. And that I feel like all the little things that he thought could be overlooked would only be basically with a Scorpio's presence. Those little things would become magnified. Because again, it's not about the little things that he should have done but didn't do, but his whole thing is like, overall, I'm consistent. And the whole thing is, it doesn't matter whether, again, you're overlooked in little ways or big ways. The fact is, Charlie, you're overlooked. And I feel that's what the Scorpio, he knew the Scorpio was highlighting. Not like you're overlooked some of the time, but most of the time he's there. No, it's just the quality of the actions overall. And is he giving 100% of what he can overall? 2 of Wands. Let's take a look at 2 of Wands. So Two of Wands, I have Wheel of Fortune, the Moon, and Knight of Swords. In fact, for this, I'm actually going to pull some oracle cards too. Just curious. Well, this energy is a little funny here. Meat eater drawn to you, and good news under a Two of Wands. Two of Wands, which is clarified by Wheel of Fortune, the Moon, and Knight of Swords. Two of Wands in this energy, I say especially with these cards that are up there. Essentially, Charlie, he didn't like the fact that the Scorpio was allowing you to see or re-tap into, or to be reminded of your own attractiveness, your own value, and how quickly you can move on. How also, too, Charlie, everything is in a very fluid manner for you. All you need to do is simply have the desire, the spark, or the opportunity. In any direction, Charlie, that you want to go in, you can go in. Wheel of Fortune and the Moon, Knight of Swords. And that your situation, the situation that you are in, you have been in, that can change in an instant. And he knew that. He knew that basically there are many paths that are open to you, and many people, Charlie, who would be more than happy, more than thrilled to walk those paths with you. In short, Charlie, your ex didn't like the fact that this Scorpio was reminding you, was showing you that you have options, that you can, and if you don't like the options that you have on hand, Charlie, you can go and create new options for you to choose from. And all you need to do, Charlie, is just literally establish a connection in terms of just going out there and chatting. Very, very serendipitous energy here. Wheel of Fortune, Two of Wands. In fact, in this energy, it's also too, Charlie, like literally you can just start conversations anywhere, virtually, physically, with anyone. And there are paths, Charlie, that open up to you. I feel like this is just your overall energy, not exactly what has anything to do with your ex, but I feel like this is a gift that you yourself have. I think, Charlie, you have, if you put yourself out there with people, I think people are going to be very enthusiastic to want to know more about you and to move on. You are a people magnet. That is your charisma, and your charisma as well is that it doesn't take very long for new opportunities to be developed for you. Maybe this is a reminder as well, Charlie. Something to think about with this Scorpio. Well, you said yourself that he was awakening your Kundalini energy. So I would almost say that this is like an energy of high magnetism for you, but I don't feel like it's limited to a time period. I think this is your own special gift. Yes, you are a magnet. Wheel of Fortune and the Moon, you can attract anything you want, as long as you get out there. And as I said, I feel like the connection doesn't matter how the connection is made, who the connection is made with, but you can go out literally, and as long as you, I don't know, Charlie, whether it's smile, wave, say hello, start a conversation, but I feel like whatever those introductory steps are, but it's like all you need to do is just make one small overture and you can go and form new connections very easily, and that people will hop on those in there. Well, you know what it is too, Wheel of Fortune and the moon. It's like, Charlie, well, in this energy, I don't know whether it's either people realize like a new taste or a new experience, or your energy is a fresh wave. There's something about you and meeting you that it's something that they didn't exactly seek or expect, but now that they met you, they can define it. Maybe, it would be like, Charlie, it would be like if, let's say nobody had ever eaten an apple before, or no one had ever seen the color blue, and all their life they had gone without eating an apple or seeing the color blue. And then they meet you and they realize just how beautiful the color blue can be, or just how interesting and satisfying an apple could be. It's like that. And with the Scorpio, I feel like, again, the Scorpio was just a catalyst, and but the Scorpio, I'm sure with this energy, first let me say with your ex, I'm sure with your ex, he probably noticed before that you have the ability to go through and charm people. Right. I can see that. And I think that I think your ex had seen like the way that you can go and have people bond. Yeah, you're a charmer. That's exactly it. Your ex had seen too just how quickly people gravitate to you over seemingly with, or how quickly people gravitate towards you, how deeply they gravitate towards you. And he's probably there like, where did all this come from out of nowhere? And I think he was probably jealous of that. But then with the Scorpio, it just, I think, again, was just reminding you, was just another example of just how powerful you are and how your options are really endless. And that you don't need to settle with someone who is not giving you, forget about 100%, they should be giving you 200%. Ah, really? Sweet and charming. Your names are so interesting. I have a middle name, and my middle name in one of the language means bitter sorrow. And if you remove one of the R's, which of course is not how my middle name is spelled, then it becomes happiness. But no, my name actually, for the way that it was named by my mother, she gave it, I don't think she was aware of it, but it means like a bittersweet. Shireen. Yeah, there's of course some ways of like there's the same sort of name that's used. It's Farah, and my middle name. Oh, you're welcome. But Shireen, sweet and charming. That is beautiful. But yes, that's the reason with your ex. You're welcome, Charlie. Anytime that you'd like a reading, do come by and we can take a peek and see what the energy is, why something is, what are people's motivations, how do they feel about it. Ask about the energy between the X and the Scorpio. Send whatever you can, Charlie. Send another whatever you can, and I will go and I'll find out for you about the energy between the X and the Scorpio. Okay, will do. Okay, take your time. And if anyone else is watching and would like a reading after Charlie, let me know. Be more than happy to check out the energy, get some answers. You know, once you think a thought, that's just as powerful as making a physical movement or actually speaking something into existence. There still is an imprint there, even if the only one who knows it is yourself or the one thinking it. Intention is just as powerful as action. It just works in a different way. Or it's just visible in a different way. It has a different timeline. Okay. So just wait 1 minute. I'll be back in just a second. Thank you, Charlie. Beautiful. Okay. So to ask about the energy, yes, I have. Hi, Brandy. If you would like a reading, all that I ask is a donation. If you can donate through either Buy Me a Coffee or Cash App. And the details for those are in the description. And yes, I got it, Charlie. Thank you. Okay. So the energy between the X and the Scorpio. So when you're saying the energy between the X and the Scorpio, Charlie, do you want to see the energy between the X and the Scorpio between each other, or the energy of the X towards you and the energy of the Scorpio towards you? So let me know which one of those, because the energy between the X and the Scorpio is a little broad. Let me know whether it is between each other, those two guys, or if it's between how they are towards you. What do I think? Well, since you want to know about how they were together, like why the X didn't like the Scorpio, let's go and see the energy between them. Okay, we'll see the energy between your X towards the Scorpio. And then let's go and check out the energy towards the Scorpio towards your X. So let's see. I'm going to use this other deck too. All right. So first of all, your X towards the Scorpio. I have 3 of Cups, Hangman, and the Star. This is your energy towards the 10 of Wands. Yes, it looks crazy. The energy between your X towards the Scorpio, first of all, I have 3 of Cups, Hangman. This is interesting. Hangman is 12, but if it breaks down numerically, it goes into a vibration of 3. So you have 2 3s, and then we have a Star. So first of all, I'm going to say that, well, it was a 3-way relationship. It was a 3-way relationship, and he was trying to go and keep above it all, or trying to keep separate. Like he didn't actually, it feels like in this energy, ever really watch or engage with the Scorpio more than he had to. He was trying to keep himself as removed from it as possible. But at the same point, the connection that was being generated, it's almost like he was aware that the Scorpio opened up to you a lot more than he could. The Scorpio was more vulnerable with you. Yeah, the Scorpio, excuse me, your ex was aware that the Scorpio revealed himself to you more than it feels like the Cancer guy was willing to do. Could do. Yeah, it looks like, just like in general, he was aware that that he could provide you with more tenderness and more care than what he was willing to do. This whole thing, it's funny with your ex. It's all this very restrained energy that I have here, very deliberate energy. It's like your ex could have done so much more, but your ex had some sort of self-imposed limitations on himself, and very deliberate ones, not even ones he was feeling. It's like his logic was saying, I'll only go this far. Yeah, there is a connection. He could see that that the Scorpio would be a lot more nurturing towards you, a lot more beneficial for you, and that the Scorpio would be able to put out more for you. I don't know what it is with your ex, but your ex definitely has something deep within him that only allows him to go so far. 555. Angel numbers. Well, there is a connection. He could tell it, but he could also tell that that he could never be as close as your or have that natural interwovenness. There's something about you and the Scorpio that just melded, and he purposely held himself back. And the energy was, I think, that he was just watching how the Scorpio was able to go and be open, be giving, be, I don't know necessarily if it's being transparent, but it definitely is being available, emotionally available to you in some way. And your ex would have liked to feel comfortable with revealing that to you, but your ex also felt like he was giving the maximum of what he was able to do, what he decided a long time ago for whatever reason to do. And let's see, the Scorpio towards your ex. Well, first of all, I feel like the Scorpio was very, very blunt. It is similar energy. That's what's interesting. As I said, there's something about your ex's energy here, because it came out in the previous reading and this reading as well, that logically, it's like he only decided to go so far, but it was like he decided that a long time ago. Nothing to do with you, Charlie, nothing to do with you. It's just, yes. It's just that something about himself, like his own core description of what makes your ex his ex. I mean, excuse me, what makes your ex like him as a person. You know, like maybe some people are there, like when I go outside, I'm going to part my hair this way, or when I go outside, I'm going to check the door before I walk away, that it's locked. There's something intrinsic about how he operates. Yeah, he's not into being open. He's not into being generous. He's not into being transparent. He's not into being vulnerable. He's scared of being that. He's scared of even showing the little bit of transparency. What kind of weakness will that expose himself to, even though it's with his partner? Mm. Well, it's like too in this energy, first of as well with your ex. I can see that. He got jealous, but he also wasn't willing to do anything to go and strengthen his own connection with you. That's the thing. It was right in front of his face, and yet he felt like a passive observer, a detached observer of how your connection was, how you met, and how your connection was growing deeper and deeper. For the Scorpio's part, and how your Scorpio felt about your ex, or your ex, the Scorpio's energy towards your ex. Quiet little girl. Cat's meowing. With Apprentice of Swords being bottom of deck energy, this is Page of Swords energy. Hello, Tikam. If you'd like, I would appreciate if you waited till I was done with Charlie's reading. And I do my readings for donation. So look on the description. You can donate either through Cash App or buy me a coffee. And you can let me know when you've made the donation. So back to Charlie's reading. With Apprentice of Swords energy here. First of all, it's a little funny. I'm going to say that the Scorpio was very much in tune with how your ex felt. He was very much aware of how his actions and his words and etc. was being noticed and examined by your ex. And he also was there like, so what? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm open and transparent. This is who I am. Like, in other words, as cagey as your ex was in the fact that I'll only do this up to this certain amount, and I don't want to be transparent and open in everything. It's like the Scorpio, on the other hand, was there like, this is me. You know, he also was there acting or being transparent for effect also too in this energy that I have here of like being a leader. Yeah, he knew that he was being watched and examined, but he was also there saying, so what? I have nothing to hide. Whatever I say to you, I'm proud of it. I stand by it. It's me. Like, in other words, he's there going, I'm being authentically me. And I'm going to be as authentic as possible with you, and or at least towards his feelings towards you. And you can make, and you, Charlie, and everyone else can make their own judgments. But he was into, first of all, it was like he was there saying, this is me, without any guile or masking. He wanted you to know him. He was into being authentically himself. So Six of Swords, Queen of the Keeper of Coins is a Queen of Pentacles, and a Six of Wands. Well, if you ask me, with a Scorpio towards your ex was into taking things slow and steady. With a Scorpio, this energy is a little funny because it's like he wasn't looking for any sort of big changes to happen right away. Towards your ex, your Scorpio was just simply in the energy of a long-term investment, starting out a long-term investment, a long-term connection, and no need to rush it. Oh, I have two. No, that's three. And he wasn't into rushing it. No need to rush it. He was fine with taking the steps bit by bit and laying out the. I think too, he knows that there's a lot more, how should I say, a lot more life in the relationship or connection that you will have with him than your ex will have with you. And that your Scorpio's energy was just like, all that he needed to do was be patient. Scorpio wasn't dealing with you for like necessarily some instantaneous, immediate result or satisfaction. It's all about the building. And he does expect, your Scorpio still expects to go and have a very connected, a very rich, a very interesting future here with Six of Wands energy here and Queen of Pentacles. But I would say essentially that's the energy between your ex and your ex towards the Scorpio and the Scorpio towards the ex. Basically, your ex knew that because he could only go and give you so much, or was willing to give you so much, your ex knew that it was only a matter of time before your connection would be severed, because you'd find somebody who would offer you more, give more of themselves. And I would say with a Scorpio towards your ex, the Scorpio knew that all he needed was patience. And you know, the energy that I have here with the Scorpio is it may take a little bit of time, but Scorpio definitely says he's going to get his relationship. And Queen of Pentacles, Six of Wands. Yeah, you're it's like in this energy, Scorpio doesn't need to make a romantic move, because Scorpio's in he's in no rush. It's like the Scorpio knows that what you have is something solid, and he's just going to keep on waiting and building it up. Your Scorpio's in no rush because he says that he's not going anywhere, and he believes the connection is only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. It's like in the energy that you have with a Scorpio, it's only going to get better. It's going to get better, more involved. It's going to grow in a positive way. And while in this energy, your ex has already said, I'm only going to go so far. And since your ex has said he's only going to go so far and do so much, he's already leveled off. Right. Well, those are the cards I also had there. I forgot what that third card was. It was Meat Eater, Drawn to You, and Good News. Yeah, that's where he really deserves to be. But you know, Charlie, too, I'm going to say in your ex's energy, I feel like your ex in general can't give 100% of himself to anybody. Maybe he can't even give 100% of himself to himself, or 100% of his like self-love to himself. There's something about him itself that's just a very tight individual. He can't grow. No, he doesn't love himself. And therefore, how can he love and value anyone else when... And then everything about him in this energy that I could just tell is conditional. And it's like, even when the conditions are met, like, I don't know, he makes a lot of money, or he wears nice clothes, drives a nice car, looks good in the mirror. It's like whatever values that he places upon himself to have value, it's like it would not be enough. He's a broken individual, and he is bad news. I would say with your ex, he is bad news, but I also say in that energy, it's nothing to do with you, and it's nothing to do between the dynamic between you and him. That's just his dynamic. Like, that's a relationship, your ex, that energy, that's how he deals with himself. That's how he deals with everybody. That's how, in this energy, unless he changes, that's how he's going to continue to deal with everybody in the future. He's in a bad state. Yeah, Charlie, what I see from your energy is, well, like your name, sweet and charming. I see that you have the ability to attract new people who will want to know you. In fact, I would say in your energy, the only thing that you just have to go and watch is protecting your energy and making sure that the people that are around you are healthy, are good for you. Homosexual. Oh, it's a good thing you got rid of him. I met one of those homosexual type of people. Of course, I only dealt with him for 3 days. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, Charlie, when, it's almost like, I don't know quite how to say this correctly or diplomatically, but when somebody is like down on their luck, especially a male energy, a man who is there then taking or being propped up, being supported by a female, it's like resentment. Resentment creeps in. They want to be the provider. They can't be the provider. They feel they should. They can't be 100% as accoladed as they feel they should be. There's some sort of energies that play into that. It's like they become demasculated or emasculated, and then they resent that. And then they kind of turn even more, well, they turn sharp with their words, right? Yes. And then they turn into, like, they say little nasty, tacky things. It's like all that they can do because they feel so petty, then their words turn petty, their actions turn petty. Yeah, just is a tightness. And I think that that's like the main thing as well when you're dealing with somebody who, and I wonder, it doesn't even matter the amount. Like, I think you can literally go and give someone like $1, like a man $1. And I think something about that. Yeah, he was just into taking advantage. And also, too, because they're not like really acting in the full role or the standard classic role of being a man, being a provider. They're so called, like, with their alpha energy, what kind of alpha energies are they putting out? It's much better to go and have somebody go and give you the money, support you, especially as we are in our feminine energy, rather than doing that for a man. Something about them makes them turn petty. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I said something about the homosexual man. They're not there. They've been emasculated, and because they're not in that provider role. Well, I'm sure that all those types of men, they probably go through their seasons in which they are providing to someone. And whether they're providing with their own money, whether they're providing with their parents' money, whether they're providing with some other woman's money to another woman, I'm sure that they do have their seasons of providership. But if you are the one, even from the beginning, with more than them, or I don't know, more stability than them, whatever that more could be, yeah, you can't touch them. I'd accept the fact it's not meant to be. Well, I'm glad that you got rid of him, Charlie. And I'm not really sensing so much that I see your ex, like, so much energy. I mean, I'm not really pulling for it, of course, of whether he'll come back or not. But I think he is definitely aware of, he's been aware all along about how he could have done more and he didn't. He wouldn't. and how you do have people, notably that Scorpio, who's at least being, he's being transparent about himself. Well, your ex needs to go and pay you all the money he owes. He definitely should do that. Should remind him about that, or go and tell his parents about that. Tell his relatives about that. Don't let him live it down, Charlie. Don't let him be private about it. Ah, deceased. Well, while I do say that if you could go and get what he owes you, you should. But also, too, if it's too much trouble, then just cut the whole cord and chalk it up into a lesson of what happens when we deal with men who can't support, men who can't provide. They probably don't like you because you were more of an alpha, more alpha energy than their brother, and you probably have more leadership energy, more commanding energy, more appealing energy than they do. "11 years. Oh, good riddance." Oh, that was a good move you made, Charlie. You know, it's funny. So many people like to go and say, oh, this person is older, they're more mature, they'll this, they'll that. You know, age has nothing to do with it. Oh, I can tell that, Charlie. But you know, it's funny, Charlie, and the energy that I get, I do get that you're strong, but I get the fact, I love the fact that your energy is fresh. You have not been calloused by anything. You have not been hardened by anything. Instead, you glow, and just another petal unfurls. Well, yeah. Yes. Definitely don't give him anything. Don't give him anything. And just because somebody is, well, just because their age doesn't really imply anything or mean anything. It's all about the mental maturity level. I'm glad the Scorpio did that, because yeah, that guy's energy is not good for you. And also, as I said, he's tight. The ex's energy is tight. The ex's energy is not into giving. And the fact that he's that age, or, you know, that much, that older, that's just a pattern. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's just, you know, creepy, because again, you know, age doesn't really connotate maturity. Just because someone's older than you, or just because someone's been through quote unquote more life experiences than you, doesn't mean that they are sane. I'm just going to call it that, sane. And in fact, if anything, they think that they can go and sort of redo or recapture pieces and periods of something, or perhaps be with people who wouldn't go and catch on as quickly to their games as they wouldn't Oh, that was a long time. Mm. I'm glad you got him out of your life, Charlie. You know, it's funny. Sometimes I see readings where people are there saying, oh, you know, you're going to go and meet this person, and this guy is going to love you like a father, take care of you like a father. And I think in a romantic relationship, especially, hearing those words really creeps me out because, you know, we have one set of parents. And maybe some of us have two sets of parents with, you know, adoptions and so forth. But let's say still one person who truly can go and give that maternal energy, and one person who could truly give that paternal energy. Whether or not we actually receive it is another matter, right? But then to seek that sort of relationship in romantically, I think is really creepy. I mean, you need to go and have someone who supports you, someone who wants to see you at your best, someone who is an equal partner, equalitarian. Nothing about, like, you know, father figures or mother figures in there. Ah, yeah. You can see that. Well, I'm very glad that you got away from him. You ended that relationship. And I'm sending a big hug, Shireen, that that you went through that. But as I said, with your energy is very beautiful. And I don't feel like this magnetism is something like a phase that just happened or you just grew into. I feel that's your innate gift. I feel your innate gift is to attract people, to charm people, to basically have any avenue or any doorway open to you that you want. Yes, sending you lots of hugs. So know that your energy itself is very beautiful, and that's just a gift within yourself. And that you are not hardened at all by what you've gone through. As I said, just another flower has unfurled. I wonder if your ex's brother was probably charmed to you by a certain extent as well. And I'd also probably say that's another reason why your ex felt like he could only give like 60% of himself, because he was always just preparing himself for the day when you would realize your own value and what you were getting out of him, that you deserved more. Well, I don't know. I mean, even when you're saying heartless, how can it be heartless? I don't know. I think certain actions are heartless. I don't think leaning into your own gifts per se are that. And again, when someone is not giving you 100% of themselves. Exactly. You know, people need to prove. They need to prove themselves. Your brother, the brother sounds like he was probably jealous. That's what that sounds like. Charlie, have you ever checked out, what is it called? Human Design. Have you heard of that? Human Design is almost like they have some, you can like a free, whatever they would call it, calculation of your human design and your life path, I think they call it. And it combines numerology, Western astrology, Eastern astrology, and some other things into it. And essentially, it's interesting in the fact that it comes out computer generated, but they can tell certain things like, sounds good. It's called, I think it's called Human Design. And yeah, and you could just search for it online. You put in your birth date, where you were born, and what time. And I could say it's interesting because some of the things that they have there is very spot on. Like it talks about your primary gifts and then your secondary gifts. What sort of work, like life work, is best suited for you, or you can be most drawn to. What kind of environment soothe you? Check it out. Human Design. My next live will probably be tomorrow. Come on by. I haven't yet gotten steady enough to go and say like I'll be on every day at like blah blah time, but I'll definitely be on. I'll be on tomorrow. Yeah, check it out. Check it out, and also let me know what you get. It talks about like your life path. There are different sorts of crosses. It talks about like too your natural gifts. Like, are you very intuitive? Are you very logical? Are you both? And then what kind of areas do you like? Feel that your gifts. Is it mental? Is it emotional? Is it feeling, etc. Well, interesting. Well, Charlie, do come by when you're ready for another question. I'll be more than happy to go and pull for you. And any sort of questions that you want to go and delve into, we can take a peek. It's funny, Charlie. There are, I've been doing tarot readings for a while, like about 10 years. And then I started this channel last year. I've done well over 3,000 readings. A good portion of those readings I've done, I've seen different aspects of love doing the collective readings that I never really have thought about or would have expected. And I have seen energies in there that I would define as twin flame. But I think all of the energies, twin flame, soulmate, past life, life partner possibilities. Yes, all of those energies, I think, there are differences. But I always shy away from just using terms like let's say when they say a karmic partner or a twin flame or a karmic partner and a soulmate. I think it's more complicated than that. Especially if these people you actually do have connections with or soulmate energy with. It's harder to go and just, write those off as whether they were purely, let's say, energies to clear you off to something else. It's like there's more at play. Right. And I think the twin flame is just almost like a variation of soulmate energy, but you have soulmate, you have past life, you have life partner, like current life partner or life partner possibility. But ultimately, it still comes down to like your maturity level, their maturity level, their background and how they grew up, your background and how you grew up, what you want right now, what they want right now, what you'll settle for, what you'll strive for. So twin flame seems to simplify all of that and detract from the fact that we're still talking about an enduring connection that is out there in the energy. I think karmic is just still a little bit more nuanced. I think that really, just like again, we have the actions that we do and then the things that we think. And then we have the people that we meet and we haven't met before, but then we have the people who we've been running into each other all of our lives, this life, another life, maybe in another dimension, that there are those connections, those sticky soul connections. And I think that those people that you meet, that love at first sight energy, or it may not even be first sight, but it just doesn't make any sense, right? Why do you feel drawn to this particular person? You may have not, like in your case, right? You may have not even met that person. You may have not even gotten a clear look at that person, but it was just like one exposure, one momentary exposure to their energy was all that it took. They are. It's all that it takes, especially too, if you're already in tune with more than the mundane, in tune with more than what you see at face value. You're already in tune with the fact that there's more to our reality than what we see right now. And then you get that vibrational ting, right? Now, I'm sure for other people it's probably different, but you meet someone and again, there's no logic to it, but you feel it. Interesting. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're going to go and meet the Scorpio. Definitely, Charlie, when you're ready, come back for another live. And we'll go and take, I'll give you nice readings. So the vibration, so for Pisces, the body part that is most Piscean is supposed to be the feet. And for the Scorpio, yes, it's supposed to be the gonads, right? Cancer is stomach. I think also the heart falls into that, the heart and the chest. Do you know where he has a Piscean energy? Where Pisces is in his chart, or if he has Pisces? Could also be too just getting a move on. So he has dreamy eyes. Well, it's also too could just be in the energy of Pisces as well. Also, too, we have been just coming out of Pisces season. Just entered in Aries season not too long ago. Oh, really? How often do you dream about him? And what kind of dreams do you have? With Neptune entering Mars, I'd almost say this could be a perfect time too to start a dream journal if you haven't yet already. Very interesting. Have you been having these dreams since last fall? Or have they been more like this since this year? Interesting. With When was the last dream? That's actually pretty fast for dream messages. Was it one 3 weeks ago? The one about a phone call? Mm, I see. I see. So that dream with him needing your comfort, that it's spot on to what's going on right now. So you could tell the fact that he was just his energy was fluctuating and you felt that. Or his energy was just getting stronger and stronger. Well, I hope that he's doing better and that he was able to solve whatever he was going through. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's something you definitely keep in mind again with the Scorpio's energy. I mean, his energy is slow and steady. And with the fact that, contact, no contact, he sees it as something for long-term gain, not short-term gain. Well, I didn't really pull so much on that here in the readings that I did between, for your ex's energy and his energy. But I can say that he definitely sees himself as being authentic. Or that he tries to be as authentically himself, or at least what he wants to portray as authentically himself. He tries to do that without apology. Like, this is kind of like, this is who I am, what I'm like, what I say. He's into being open and honest. Right. He's just into being very, very transparent with who he is, and obviously he sees his. Well, when you're ready for your next reading, we could take a look at and see what his energy is like specifically towards you. But what I could just tell overall in his energy toward about you and his ex, or is it, yeah, you and your ex, is just that he's trying to make an effort to be as transparent, as open, and like this is who I am, and he's not trying to present himself in a way that's not himself. He's trying to be authentically him and present himself to you as who he wants to be or who he sees himself as being. And, you know, like for instance, if he thought like you liked somebody who was like a knight and he's a minstrel, right? he's not going to go and present himself as a knight. He's going to say, well, you may like knights, but I'm a minstrel, and this is me minstreling, going like, you know, listen to my ballads, right? My ballads, rather. That's what my cat says too. And I definitely don't feel his energy being like your ex, because your ex, in general, something intrinsic to himself, he levels himself off. He will only give up to a certain point. He will not be transparent with anything. He's not able to. And this guy, the Scorpio, he tries to be as authentic as he can be. He's not closing himself off. He definitely is not closing himself off due to ego. He is. He is. And I feel like the Scorpio is, like, he could be still defining. I don't know, because, you know, I haven't dived into his energy or anything like that. But I could say with the Scorpio, I'm not saying like who he is right now is who he's going to be for the rest of his life, right? People change. But what I can tell from the Scorpio's energy is that he tries to be authentic. And he may still be trying to search out what is his authenticity, what is it that he really feels called into being, into doing, and to develop that more. But he is trying and striving with everything that he can to be authentic. You know, he wants to be more of himself, and he also wants to have the confidence, and he puts himself out there to go and put him, you know, who he is, what he is, how he is, what he wants, what he's doing. He strives to go and put all that out there. And I think too, he in his energy as well with a Scorpio, that Scorpio is also there. This could be his path again. I'm not, you know, I didn't pull cards to exactly see, but just on what I feel from doing that with a Scorpio. I do think the Scorpio, not only is he into being as authentic as he can be about himself, he also wants everybody around him to be authentic as well. And I think that as well is part of the energy and the relationship that you have with him, is that he's also asking you, Shireen, to look at yourself and, you know, be authentically yourself, unapologetically yourself. Also, to define, Shireen, what is it that you want and you want to do, and don't be hampered by what boundaries may be there. Don't put boundaries on your who you want to be, what you want to be, where you want to go, who you want to be with. There's no boundaries, essentially. So why even view those things, who you want to be, where you want to be, where you want to go, etc. by boundaries? No, he does not hide who he is, and I think that feels like something that's very deliberate on his case. Not so much like he's an open person, but he's decided, just like the way your ex has decided that he's only going to give like 60% of himself, no matter what. I feel like this Scorpio guy is someone who's decided just as intentionally that he's going to try and be as authentic as he can be. And either you like it or you don't like it, but it's not, that's not his concern. His concern is being as open as he can be. So very interesting energy in that case. I think it's very interesting energy. Exactly. And I believe that that's what, I think that that's the key to being happy in general, is being authentic. Right? Because also, too, you think about it, the jobs that make us miserable, the jobs that we're not allowed to be ourselves. Even if it's telling someone like, stick it up your own, right? Like, get away from me. If somebody's like encroaching or like behaving a certain way, like you said a moment ago, if someone's cold to you, you're cold back. And we can say that the friction happens in places where you're not allowed to be authentically yourself. Like if someone's cold to you, but you still have to be polite and accommodating, rather than just saying, shoo with you. No, if you feel drawn to call him, you can definitely call him, because from what I see, not only does he try to be as authentic as he can, he definitely appreciates when other people are authentic to themselves as well. And I think that's more than anything, that's what the Scorpio wants for you, Shireen, is for you to be authentically yourself. What do you feel like doing? What do you want to do? What do you feel called to do? What are you comfortable doing? Not like what you think you should be doing or what someone expects you to do, but what do you want to do and how do you want to do it? Exactly. For my case, I can say that in an ideal world, I'm pretty authentic to who I am. Sometimes I am overly polite when I would not prefer not to be. When I travel, especially when I travel across the country, I do large trips. I am pretty much not authentically myself because, there's frustrations that arise. And I try and just keep myself level key, level key, level key, level key, level key, super level key, super accommodating. But usually Really? It's funny that so many people have such strong energies about, let's just call it intuition and spirituality that doesn't come from um, a written book like the Abrahamic Bible, right? Abrahamic works. And especially when you consider the fact that who was the very first mystic but Jesus, if you want to think about it that way, or the first celebrated mystic. And also, too, all these people were people who ran all the way around everywhere. I mean, they didn't even own their own house with their own toilet, right? And yet they talk about acquisition and, I don't know, paying your dues, being stable, blah, blah, blah. And then you think about all the subjects of esoteric knowledge that has been acquired by religious institutions, looking into other cultures' spiritual beliefs. And then even if you want to go and just look at the Abrahamic gods or the Abrahamic religion, and the fact that you have like I forgot exactly now how they classify. It's not Gentile, but they sort of have like the casual practitioners and then the Orthodox ones, right? And well, even like Judaism and their Noahide laws. The fact that although they put all this division between Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, how because the Christians worship Jesus, that's almost in the same level as the Indians, the Hindus worshiping, all their gods, idolatry. Right? I don't know. It's just funny that people are just so making snap decisions about how other people connect and experience with the divine. And they try and make it something negative. When really all that it is just opening up our own spiritual intuition, our own guides, and having faith in ourselves as conduits. And also expanding our understanding, our empathy, and our movement. Right? There are some people who they have a small range of life experiences and empathy and understanding in which to go and interpret the messages that they're given. And then there are other people that have more. Or they're more open, more fluid. They allow themselves to be. You're doing tarot, Charlie, Shireen? I think everybody should definitely go and explore energy and explore energies in whatever ways you feel called to. Do you feel called to do that by dreaming? Do you feel called to do that by meditation? Do you feel called to do that by tarot? Do you feel called by doing that by the standard playing cards? the diamonds, whatever else they're called, spades, clovers, etc. Yeah, I mean, do you feel called to do that by even stones, tree bark, fire, flame, water? I mean, they're all tools. That's wonderful. I think tarot is really a beautiful tool. I mean, I personally like this black and white deck the most because I like how interpretive it is as opposed to the ones with color and so forth. But when you think about tarot as it has all its standard definitions, I mean, even this one has, like, oh, they all have the little decks, right, where they talk about the standard meanings and the atypical meanings. But then I think that once you start, exploring and thinking about the cards and their meanings and their interpretations, and you begin thinking of them as a language. And just like one word has a meaning on it by itself, but then if you put it with other words, the connotation could be different, right? The meaning could be sarcastic, the meaning could be a warning, the meaning could be very ethereal and uplifting. But the moment you start pairing that word with other words, and then the inferences and tone comes out, and then you could also start thinking about the cards through other ways. Essentially, Charlie, what I see about tarot, what I really feel about tarot, I really do think each tarot card, and I actually say this for sort of any energy work that you're doing, but the moment you start putting your intention into it, like whether it's sound work, or again, you work with stones, or you work with flame. But I think that the moment you start putting out energy to it, it's almost like little portals, little energetic portals. And depending upon what message that you're seeking to go and ask, or what kind of energy are you trying to channel and connect with, then that's what pops up, and they're like little doorways, little threads of connection. I'm sure it's probably different for other people, but I definitely think that with the tarot, they do have those inferences. You can read the standard definitions, but then you also can use that to create poetry out of your own language. And you can use that to connect with the threads of information that you're meant to put out. Definitely. I think a lot of things create portals. I mean, these circles that I do my readings on, these are actually bags and satchels. I have a sound bowl that goes into this, but this is essentially like a bag to go and travel and put things into. But the whole idea is that then when you're doing a reading, then it comes out in a portal. And I've actually charged these, I sew these under Pacific moon phases and astrological events to go, or astrological hours to get the energy in. And also, too, even thinking about the type of numerical energy that I want to go and tap into. So, like this one is the energy and vibration of 5, which 5 is chaotic, but the whole idea is to also generate in that change. I mean, Five's energy is very electric, very kinetic. And that's why I chose this one. I made it also with the energetic, under the energy of the numeral 5. And of course, I can go and put stones and other things like that into portals, but essentially that these are portals in which I do readings on energy portals. Same thing with this. This is a larger one. And it's the same thing too. So it also has pockets in here, but I charge these. This one is big enough you can actually sit on too. But their energy work. I think basically a lot of things open up portals as long as you are in tune with it and you focus on it. You charge it, you're open to the idea of it. These are also machine washable too. So everything that I have here, it is washable. And the same thing with even this this pouch that I made for my moon cards. I mean, that's also something that I created here. But I also charged it under made it during Pacific planetary hours and Pacific moon phases. I agree. I definitely agree. I have oh no, these are stitched. You can actually see the cat hairs in there too, but of course my cats sit on everything, my muses. But yeah, all these are stitched. And they actually have a couple of different threads on there. Yes, I am. I am. And this is also stitched as well. You can see the stitching. And I think about the intention too when I do these. Oh, really? Mine is one day after yours. Were you born in the morning or the evening? No, seriously. And in fact, it's so weird because I've been seeing in the morning and in the evening, I've been seeing my birth date numbers pretty much all year. I've been seeing angel numbers of ones like crazy ever since last year, but I've been seeing my birth date numbers too. Oh, really? Oh, no kidding. Yeah, that's my birthday. That is my birthday. That's the beauty of the internet, Shireen. Right? Yes, we can't have him like, someone with that sort of tight energy on our sharing that month. No way, no way. Sharing that week, no way, no way. Well, primarily something that I feel very strongly, and I've always felt, and it just gets stronger and stronger, is I feel things really strong. I feel things so much that I have to go and lock things out. And while I get messages, I feel more overwhelmingly, I get feelings of the question and the energy that's around it. I don't know exactly if I'd use the word empath because I think it's more vibrant than just being empathetic. But I get overwhelmed. I pick up feeling and emotionality like crazy. Also, that's why I can tell if someone's being authentic and if someone's holding back, that sort of energy too. Like how much of themselves are they giving? How much will they give? How much do they intend to give? I'll be back in just a second. I'm going to get some water. We are. We are. We definitely are. We got everything all innately there. Charlie, what's your moon and your rising? Or tell me your moon if you don't want to tell me your rising. I'm curious now. Do you have very strong water overall in your chart? Or do you have other placements that are equally strong? Oh, really? Oh, so you got strong water there. I have an Aries moon, and I'm a Taurus rising. I have Scorpio energy in my 7th house. And I have a Cancerian Venus. So in matters of the heart, everything is all water. I don't attract any water signs though. Get a lot of air. But that's tons of water. Oh, you must feel everything, Charlie. I feel lots of things, but as I said, I always try to block it out and detach. Because once I zone in on something or once I feel something, it's like getting the full message when maybe all that you'd want is like 25%, and then you end up getting like 500%. You know, Charlie, Lilith is entering Scorpio, or entered Scorpio March 26th. And right now, a whole bunch of transformation should be coming on for anybody with strong Scorpio energy. Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, Scorpio Lilith, or just whatever seventh Scorpio placements that you have should be getting a Lilith charge. I don't recall what my south nodes and my north nodes are exactly. I think one is in Leo and one is in Aquarius. Gemini Venus. What is it like having all that water and a Gemini Venus? I have a Gemini Mars, Gemini Venus, Gemini first house. I could have sworn that my rising was Gemini with all the Gemini that I feel. That's interesting. I don't think I know, or I definitely don't attract any cancers. I know that. And it's interesting that with all that water energy too, you would get cancers. Well, the Scorpios make sense. But then again, I'm probably not one exactly to talk about sense because, again, everything that I attract is nothing quite to what's there. I heard that also with your 4th house, depending upon your 4th house energies, those should also show who you attract. Do you know what your 4th house is? Yeah, I know what you mean, Charlie. I know as well when someone is thinking of me. Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. And then I'm told that, like, oh, there's probably like also some bug somewhere watching you, or like mice in the woodwork. So are you going to be also, and they're probably watching you eat and going, oh, such a big sandwich. Why is that person eating all the sandwich, right? And the whole idea is like, of course, many things are watching you, but then to go and separate that out into who's, like, is it really relevant or not? That's why I also do that reading of who's watching you, because I feel the watching and the thinking quite strongly. Yeah, I think Gemini placements are. Charlie, have you checked out your chart in Vedic astrology? I bet if you did, your sun is probably you could be a Gemini sun as well. In the Vedic placements. Right. The fourth house is a family house, and it's supposed to be who, so they say, right? So they say. I mean, I think take all of that with salt of what they say, like the natural astrological pairs are, because I think it really is more complicated than that. And there's many different, again, we went into that, right? Many different ways of classifying soulmates and twin life, or excuse me, twin flame, but we'll just call it soulmate energy. But I believe one of the ways that people said you can at least check out is your fourth house should also say who supposedly you'll effortlessly attract. Well, I'm not going to say who I attract out of out of diplomacy, doing all the zodiac signs, but I can say that I have gotten last year a very specific type of person, and except that they were all far older than me. And I can say now that if I meet anybody younger from that sign, I am going to go a hard no, like no way. Like even the fact that they could age into that, I'm going to say no way, no way, no way. You've been picking up on your ex. Well, definitely if you were thinking of him, it's because probably he started the connection first. I would also say with that water sign energy in there in the first place and the time spent, there's already a whole bunch of, I mean, you probably have vibrations that even if one of you were on the other side of the globe, you'd probably still would be in each other's biorhythms. Well, they also say too that the son could also be of the father. I more see the son as almost like when it comes to the energy that at least I've been pulling for a while, he's like life partner energy. mean, I take all of that, all of the placements I think are up to interpretation. But yes, we definitely have that strong Gemini energy. I have this very interesting book. I don't have it with me here. I have it in storage, and it talks about a different way of like interpreting tarot with astrology. And it takes all the major arcana and it talks about the pairings that each card has, like each major arcana card would have with all the other arcana cards, including the minor arcana. And one of the placements talks about like fourth house energy. Well, it talks about all the house energies, but then the relationships with the mother, the father, which cards connotate that, and how it could be interpreted. I wish I could remember the book. I don't have it with me right now, but you know, as I said, it's in storage. And I've had it for a while. I think I've had it since 2014, maybe 2012. I've had it a long time. And each time I go back to it, it's interesting because it's just so different in its interpretations, but it's interesting. Yeah. That's a good thing you ignored him. Charlie, you spent enough time on him. Definitely spent enough time with him. You need someone, Charlie, who will give you 200%, not someone who doles out their energy and their attention and their effort. I still think that's funny that his birthday is the 27th. I was like, shoo away from that date. Let me back in another. Oh, the name of the book. I don't recall the book exactly. I know it was. I don't know if it was Karmic Tarot. Was it Life Tarot? It had one of those names like that, but it was a book. It was an old book. It is an old book. So I said I don't have it with me right now because it's in storage. But it's a big book. And it just is interesting. As soon as I had it with me earlier, but I had to put some of my stuff in storage. And but as soon as I go and get it again, or I go and make a visit to my storage, I'll go and take it out. That book I found so interesting. I actually scanned in the pages, and then I reprinted it. And I rebinded it. I copied the pages, I scanned them all in, I printed them all out, and I created my own book on it because I wanted my energy on it. Sometimes I do that. Like when I want something to truly be I guess, like, my own magical item. I do that. Same thing with like these tinctures, for instance. I mean, even the thread is something that I took apart and I binded myself. For me, that's like one of the obsessions that I do. Yeah, we're gonna say it's not his real birthday, right? They do. That's true. They do. Too much. Is he from Nigeria? Yeah, sometimes it's almost like when people have been, or if they can't get beyond maybe like a certain trauma or trauma point, or thinking that they didn't have enough, they lacked something, they can't move beyond that. Well, definitely, it's a blessing that you have moved on from him. And a blessing that your energy is protected from him. Because he has no intention of giving anybody 100%. He can't even give himself 100%. Right? Charlie, I'm going to go and get a snack to eat, but I'll be back. And I think I'll do an aware and beware if you want to hang out and just check out for that. I'll do some general readings with the moon cards and we can see what messages come up. Well, thank you. Especially as there is someone so close to my birth date here. If you want to hang out for a little bit, in about 5 minutes, I'll do some general readings. I'll use the moon cards and we can see what will come out. Yes, our mothers definitely can spot the useless men. How should I put it that way? The men who won't give, can't give the 100%. I mean, before his parents passed away? Some sort of trauma definitely happened to him for him to be so tight and closed off. Something that he can't move away from, something that he feels is owed himself, something that he feels took too much from him. Do you think, well, since you said that he viewed the tarot and other sorts of things as witchcraft, he probably isn't into spiritualism, right? That is sad. Yeah, a lot of cultures are that way. My mother was going to name me a name that was a little unconventional. And she said she was actually going to name me Mars. That was going to be the name that she was going to give me. And apparently, my grandmother flipped out and said that I wouldn't get into heaven because I didn't have a Christian name. It's like, you can't name a kid Mars. What kind of life will she have? Isn't it? I met her when I was a little older, when I was about maybe 10 or 13, 10 or 12. And oh, I did not like her at all. I stayed with her briefly during a visit, and she thought she was so flipped out by me in some way. I don't know how or why, but she would lock her bedroom door before going to sleep. And she was there saying that basically she felt very uncomfortable and disturbed by my presence. I know. She was like, oh my goodness. I guess she thought like I was like some sort of demon child. I know, right? She was highly paranoid about me. But sad, right? Oh, it really was. You know, I felt that she was very phony. I'm not going to get into why. And I was also very honest with how I felt and why I felt that way. And that was basically the last I ever had to deal with her. And she definitely had some issues of her own, but yeah, she was there like saying, oh, you know, something like, I'm not normal. But then again, my mother was also witch like too, because when she was born with the placenta over her face. She was which in her culture is like one of the signs for being born with the third sight. I know, right? Blocking doors. She made a whole big deal of it. I think she could have even put a deadbolt on it, and I was only there for like a week or two. I mean, it was like crazy. And I would have left there much earlier if it just wasn't the fact that I was there for a visit for a certain amount of time. She passed away of dementia. So she probably had dementia or the early stages of it for a while. But I didn't talk to her after that, since I was in my early, like somewhere between, I forget now exactly because I don't really pay attention. I don't think about it. But it was somewhere between being 11 and maybe 14. Funny. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have that much to do with. I didn't have anything to do with her afterwards. I didn't speak to her for a while. I thought she was a toxic person, but it just made sense that she did die of that, and that that was her issue. But she was, I thought, rather intense being there. Like, oh, yeah, she was. Everything was gods and devils, or God and devils, and everything that wasn't the same was not. And she did things that were questionable. I was very happy to be rid of her and not deal with her again after that one time when she was there, basically creating a whole bunch of drama where there was none. Ah, you had a family friend, uncle. Mm. You know, I think with it came to part of the reason why she was there saying that I was devil spawn was my mother. As I said, she was born with a shroud over the placenta over her face, and she was also, before she kept quiet, was also saying things like, "Oh, this will happen to so and so, that will happen to so and so." So then when I came around, and I guess something about the way that I acted or I said, I don't really remember what it was so much. Oh, creepy. Yeah, I had somebody once come on here and they were saying something about like how in um, like other places eat kitties too. I know it's outrageous how, I don't know, just is it being judgmental? Is it just being stupid, right? Limited. It is. So Charlie, I'm going to be doing an aware and beware. I'll pull some cards around that. But I'm going to go and get some food. I'll be back in a little bit. Oh, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, just these people with their narrow minded attitudes. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. So I'm just going to go and get a little food, and I'll be back with an aware and beware. Hi, Charlie. Yes, you hear him meowing, right? Thank you. Yeah, well, I do think that they're muses. I feel that they are they are just in tune with the energy. They see things in a different way. And they are gateways to the divine, portal openings, and they definitely are aware of the situation. They don't believe in being quiet, though. I have no doubt that their cat meows are confirmations. It's even funnier too with my kitties. So I have Siamese and I have regular domestics. I have Mogies, and the Mogies are technically supposed to be quiet. They're not supposed to meow. But because they're around the Siamese, they meow more, just as much, if not more, than the Siamese. So they're definitely always talking. Yeah, I would agree. My my cats are 3 Tauruses and 1 Scorpio. That's a confirmation. A white cat. Say a white cat and black cats are definitely confirmations. I've been feeling like I should be seeing an orange cat, but I haven't, but I feel like I should be. The Scorpio. So the Scorpio is a Siamese boy, and he is in love with the Taurus Siamese female. He is only the other. So I have 2 girls and I have 2 boys. And the interesting thing about the Siamese boy, the Taurus boy, oh, excuse me, the Scorpio boy. The interesting thing, quiet little one. The interesting thing about the Scorpio Siamese boy is that he is in love with the Taurus female, the Taurus Siamese. And he is 7 years old. And although I have another Taurus girl, the Calico, he won't even look at her like she tries to entice him. He won't even look at her and do anything. He's just entirely only has eyes for the Siamese Taurus one. Really? That's interesting. But the Scorpio Siamese is very faithful. Nothing can divert his attention from the cat that he likes. And also, too, he's very gentle. It's like he has a high tolerance for putting up with nonsense, unless it's something that's intrinsically wrong. He thinks about things before he does it too. He's never bit me. He's never attacked me. He's never scratched me. He's never even hissed at me. He's 7 years old. He really thinks things out measuredly. Well, like the gray and white boy that I have, he's very emotional. So he has hissed at me. If he's angry about something, he will go and grumble or do little growls. I mean, he's very sweet, but he's also likewise, if he's feeling pissed, he's going to act out right away. He's very spoiled. But the Siamese boy, the Scorpio boy, he has a lot of self-control. And he thinks about everything before he does it. He's never gotten into he seems like he wants to put dominance to the other boy, but I don't allow him to. But a couple times, there was once this dog, like he's been around dogs and other cats and other animals, birds. He gets along with all other animals. And once there was this dog that came, we were visiting somebody and this woman had a kitten, and this dog was harassing, somebody else brought over their dog, and then the dog was harassing the kitten or chasing it after that, and the kitten was getting very scared. And I could see in my cat that he was deciding Like he was actually getting prepared to go and eat that dog. Like I could just tell, like in the way that he was watching him and his body language, it was like he was putting two to two together, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna go and just like destroy that dog. And when I noticed that, I got up and I like put an end to it because I didn't want my cat to like, get involved in any sort of bloodshed or bloodletting or, attack or anything like that. I try very hard to like watch the environment and make sure that nothing happens that he has to like become violent. He really is. I mean, he just thinks so much. And then, as I said, a couple times I noticed when he sees something and he's like, it's like he makes a value judgment. He's like, this is not right. And if you don't step in and address that, he will go in there and he will address it. You could see you see him doing that, but he's headstrong, he's stubborn, he's loud, but he is a very sweet boy. He's very gentle, extremely loyal. Like when they say, oh, and he's also unfixed. So if they say like, you have like a male cat, he's going to go and kill kittens. He's going to go and like, sleep with all the female cats, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't do any of that. He's very, very regulated and very gentle. I would say the only drawback that he has is just that he's stubborn. It doesn't matter what I say. He's like, he thinks about it. He's like, I don't know. He goes by his own judgment. All right. I'm going to do just some general messages from Spirit. In fact, Charlie, you know what? I think I'm going to go and since this is an Aries reading, let me go and drop this reading and I'm going to go and pull up a new live. So come and join me on that other live, Charlie. It's going to be in Aware and Beware. I'm going to set it up right now. Hop over and join me on that other live, okay? Okay. I'll see you in a moment.